Hi, Gary Klein from the Career Center, and I'm with you today to talk about doing a job search using LinkedIn. First thing you need, though, is a profile. I'm going to start by showing you a little bit about how to create one of those. So I'm going to share my screen with you right now so we can begin that conversation. Okay. This is my personal profile. I wanted to share why I want to share this with you is because I want to show you what goes into it a little bit. So a really good place to start is with a picture. I'm using a little bit older picture. As you can tell right now, I don't have that beard, but I did at the time I created the profile. A headshot or a head and shoulder shot, such as what you're looking at on Zoom, is probably a good way to go. It's not helpful to have other people in the picture or to use a picture that may have been sort of a casual shot that you may have taken. But what you want your picture to kind of do is represent the professional version of you or what you plan to do. What I was trying to portray in my photo is I'm an accessible, friendly guy that you could talk to about career coaching. And that's what my intention was. So behind here, you have the ability to add a background. So if you want to brand yourself in a particular way, this is a great way of doing it. Give people a way to know kind of who you are and what you're about. The second thing is you have the ability to have your name and something about yourself below. Now, in my case, because I'm a certified career coach, I wanted people to know that. Also, you're able to have a tagline, which is kind of a description of what you're about and what you do to make a difference for others. So when you see when you see my name, and you also get a sense of what I try to do to help people. Um, any of your previous education that you have that you add to LinkedIn will show up here. University of Iowa is where I work, so that's why it's showing up. Texas A&M University is where I actually got my master's degree, and that's why that's showing up. So your education will show there. Then you're probably going to have an area which you can have, which is a description of you, an about section if you want. It will also show your activities, things that you've engaged in. So I write articles once in a while, or I share information that shows up. That happens automatically. You don't have to add that. But the part that you're going to need to add is sort of some of your resume information, like your work experience. So it's going to include jobs that you've had or internships that you've had previously. You've had none of those things, but have worked in your home country. Great, put those things as well. For you, of course, an education section where you list your where you've gone to school and the degree that you are working on would be helpful as well. And when you anticipate graduating is good as well. But here's something that I really want to make sure that I talk a little bit about is that you can add skills. Now, technical skills are very valuable to employers and they are interested to know what you can do for them. And often the recruiters who use LinkedIn to find eligible people to recruit use this as a way to filter for potential candidates. So it really is to your interest to be sure that you add your skills. You may ask people to recommend you in some way. And if you can do that, that's great. But if not, that's fine. Don't worry about that. And if you've taken particularly courses that you feel would be important for people to know about, you can also highlight those courses as well as projects that you may have been involved in, languages that you speak, and things that you're interested in. So people you're following and so forth show up there. Okay. So that's all the things that go into your profile. Once you've established your profile, LinkedIn goes to work for you because based on what you put into your profile, it starts suggesting jobs and so forth to you based on what you've talked about. So if I go to the jobs tab here, it's going to recommend some jobs to me based on what my profile looks like. And so because I'm a career coach, it's going to suggest things that have to do with my field. And obviously for you, your field will be different. So it's going to recommend different things to you. Now, what I want you to know is that by looking for jobs through LinkedIn, it will do a couple of things for you. One, if you, I'm going to use this first one as an example. So I'm interested. I want to know what this job is about. So I'm going to go to it. And what it's going to tell me is several things all at once, all useful things, I think. One of which is, so is it my level? Yeah, because I'm a mid-management kind of person. It's going to tell me, do I have any connections to people working in the company and so forth. And it's going to show you how many other applicants have been in there. And if you subscribe to LinkedIn, it's free to subscribe to LinkedIn, but to get the premium services, they do charge for those things. And there's some good reasons to know some of these things. Like, for instance, who's in the pool with you and how do you compare to them might be helpful to know. The other thing this will help you to do is to know who else is, know who the recruiter is. And by the way, one of the recommendations I have is once you find a recruiter, if you're interested in jobs, not just this job, but other jobs in general, you can go to that person and look at their profile, of course, find out a little bit about them, and you can also follow them. So once you start following them, they will naturally be interested in why you're following them and may contact you about the job that they are actually attached to. So following people who are recruiters is a good idea. Okay, so the next thing is that once you've read the description and understand what the job is and the qualifications they're looking for and so forth, then you can, if there's things you want to know about the job, such as salary, you can find that out and find out the benefits and so forth. Now, it used to be kind of frowned upon to worry about salaries before you actually applied for jobs, but these days it's a little more lax in that regard. So if you are interested in it, you can click the apply button. In some cases, it's going to take you to an outside application system. In some cases, it will just it will allow you to share your profile, and that may be all that they want initially. Okay, so you can do that. All right, so that's one way you can use your LinkedIn profile to help you find ideas for jobs and to connect to people who have them. The other thing I wanted to point out is that there are jobs where once you have established your LinkedIn profile and have connected to other people, you may see some of those people showing up when you are looking at a job possibility. This helps you if you want to connect to people individually to find out about what it's like to work for the company, to learn who the boss may be, so that you might connect with them separately, maybe before you even apply for the job, to make sure it's a job you really want to apply for. So these are things you can use LinkedIn to do as well. All right. So, but what if you look through the jobs that are recommended to you and you really you aren't really seeing jobs that you're interested in. You know the jobs you're interested in, and you know perhaps where you want to be. But that's where the search boxes actually pay off for you. So let's say I'm done being a career coach and I really don't want people to be looking for me in that regard, but I want to go into sales because I'm good with people. And so I'm going to add sales. And then I'm going to pick a different place to live because, I've been living in Iowa City for a very long time, and I've always wanted to live in Wilmington, Delaware. Sure, because, okay. And now what it's going to do is going to show me jobs that are within driving distance of Wilmington, Delaware, including jobs in Philadelphia and so forth. Okay. Once again, there are some places where I can see some alums of places I've been work. I can see how many applicants are in the pool so far, things like that. So you can use this to, you can find jobs that are really recommended to you, such as be a home sales consultant. I can work remotely in a scholastic sense with the company there. So if I were interested in that, I would just go through the application process we just kind of looked at and go from there. Well, I hope that this little tutorial has been helpful to you. One of the last things I want to mention to you is that when you do look for jobs, you can actually use a number of filters, such as internships. So if you want to limit it to internships or entry-level jobs, you can have it limit things for you. You can also look for jobs that are part-time or full-time, temporary, contract, voluntary, and so forth. And whether it's on-site or remote, which can come in handy if you are trying to accomplish your degree and would like to be able to gain experiences as you go. Perhaps that's a way of looking for internships or even jobs once you are close to graduation. So once again, I hope that this tutorial has been helpful to you. Certainly, I am hopeful that you will be able to use LinkedIn better in your job search. And as always, the Career Center is here to help you. So always feel free to go to careers.uiowa.edu to make an appointment with one of us. We're always glad to help. Thanks so much.